Hi guys, it's Tamara. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about something just a little bit different. I want to kind of dedicate this video to some of the questions and comments that you guys have had. And, you know, I love reading all of your questions and your experiences. And, you know, I really love connecting with you guys and allowing you to talk about things that maybe you haven't been able to talk about in other places. Now, what I really love is that you guys are very good about not attacking each other. You're very good at not sharing so much information that I have to cut it down or edit it. You share just the right amount of information. You ask awesome questions and you keep the conversation going. And that's a great part. I don't know if you guys understand how YouTube works and the algorithms and all that stuff, but the more you comment, and if you comment authentically and with purpose, it really does help my channel out a lot. It pushes the channel up in the search results and it helps other people find this material. So I just want to put that out there and thank you so much for doing that. A lot of people have discovered this channel over time, and usually it's hourly throughout the day. And that's a good sign. That means that we're doing everything that we can do to make sure that other people outside of our small community can gain access. So thank you once again for that. So I chose quite a few comments and I want to go over them in this video, and I'm actually going to post the comments around me so that you'll be able to see them, but I'm also going to read them. So I have them right here, and I think this is so cool because somebody asked me a question yesterday, which was going to be my video topic for today, and it's about family and parents who have dependent personality disorder. So I want to target that. So first, this comes from Katie. Thank you so much, Katie, for being subscribed to the channel. Katie says, what is dependent personality disorder and is there a cure? My mother seems to have dependent personality disorder. She struggles a lot with behaviors, attitudes, and dispositions that her family, friends, and coworkers can barely stand. Wow, that sounds more like somebody that has a little bit of anxiety, somebody that has a little bit of BPD in there. Dependent personality disorder is probably not the only traits that's there. So I'm going to throw that out there. She says, Tamara, how in the world can we deal with somebody like this? I can't move to my left or to my right. And she is there. I have absolutely no privacy in my home and I can't have any peace. What do I do about somebody with dependent personality disorder? Well, Katie, that's a tough one. And I'm just going to throw out there the definition that dependent personality disorder means that the individual is wholeheartedly dependent upon other people to survive. Their ability to survive and to manage their emotions and to manage the people around them has a lot to do with them depending on somebody that they have a secure attachment with, somebody that they trust emotionally and psychologically. I find that people with dependent personality disorder, they don't intend to be annoying, as you put it. They also do not intend to be somebody that, wants to make you feel trapped. They tend to struggle with being independent, and they have these inborn internal fears that keeps them from being independent. If you have a parent, for example, that has dependent personality disorder, you're likely to see them struggle with separating from you. They may have some separation anxiety. They may have a hard time letting you explore the world. They may tell you that the world is an evil, bad place. You have to watch out for everything. They kind of pump things up to a certain level to where you become anxious about life. Somebody with dependent personality disorder really doesn't see the error of their ways. They are structured that way internally. It's a genetic and a environmental disorder, and unfortunately there's no cure for it. Can these individuals learn to cope and learn to identify their behaviors? Probably, but it's going to take years of counseling, because remember, dependent personality disorder is a personality disorder, meaning that it's a pervasive, chronic, long-standing part of the person. You can't really change the personality, but you can teach skills and you can teach the building of awareness. So there's a little bit of hope, but the hope is pretty slim. So Thank you so much, Katie, for that question. Wonderful question. All right, I'm going to point out Limelight06. I'm talking about you because you are awesome. And I love the fact that you back up everybody on the channel. I don't know if you realize that, but you do. And here's a comment that you made. It was a video on, I think it was about toxic parents or emotionally detached parents, and you said self-care is important. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep moving forward. That is awesome. And I just want to piggyback on that and say that for those of you who are dealing with emotionally detached parents and you're an adult, or you're dealing with family members who are toxic and emotionally unstable, it's important to put self-care in front of you. Self-care consists of things such as going shopping, right? Having the money to go shopping because you don't want to spend and then be stressed out about what you spent, but going shopping and enjoying yourself, eating something delicious, exercising, right? Treating yourself well, eating clean, and eating good fruits and vegetables. Getting your hair done, getting your hair cut, right? Buying a new car, going to, a different state, right? Driving for long periods of time in a beautiful area, right? Going on vacation, journaling, taking a long hot shower, a long hot bath. All of those things can be considered self-care. Self-care is the whole idea that you want to put yourself first so that you can then begin to put others first, but in a healthy manner. And so self-care is the first step to doing that. Now, if you have an emotionally detached or toxic parent or family, you definitely want to incorporate self-care, because if you don't, you're going to find it really hard to cope with them, and you're going to find it really hard to manage your own emotions. So self-care is important. Thank you so much, Limelight06, for that. The next one is Truth for You Today. Thank you so much for this comment. You said emotionally detached parents destroy because they are immature and all about them. Absolutely, 100%. Emotionally detached parents, as I talk about in this video up here, they have a very selfish disposition, and a lot of them are narcissistic. There's a pretty profound case that has been in the media lately and over the past few years. And you guys may know this individual. Her name is Gypsy Rose. And she's an individual who was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy. And that, I've talked about it a lot on this channel. Go ahead and click on this video up here to see that video that I did. But Munchausen syndrome by proxy is the whole idea that a caretaker or a parent or, some kind of guardian induces and lies about symptoms in another person so that they can be seen as the loving caretaker. And Gypsy Rose was abused for years. She was told that she had cancer. She was told that she couldn't walk. She was told that she had multiple medical conditions, and her mother would induce them and then go to doctors and lie about them. It wasn't until Gypsy Rose arranged for her murder from her boyfriend. She arranged for the murder with her boyfriend at the time. It wasn't until then that this case became known, and investigators and authorities got involved, and they said, wait a minute, this young lady is just fine. She can walk. She doesn't have cancer. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have that. She's not diabetic. She's not. And they realized that she was a healthy young lady. If you look at, I'm going to post the picture over here for you. If you look at the differences between the two, the picture of Gypsy Rose when she was under the abusive care and neglectful care of her mother, she looked really different. When she came out from under her mother, she looked more healthy. She actually is a pretty young lady. Unfortunately, for the murder, arranging for the murder of her mother, she's serving time. It's a terrible tragedy because she was under the abusive and neglectful control of a very sick, psychotic woman who was not only engaging in child abuse, but also illegal crime. And so had her mother not been murdered, she would have continued to be abused. And so murder was the only way that she could see any way out. So unfortunately, that was Gypsy Rose's fate, incarceration. It's terribly traumatic and it's terribly saddening because Gypsy Rose should be in counseling, and she should also be getting treatment to heal from all the wounds that her mother created in her heart and in her soul and in her mind. So I'm going to actually post a link to her story in the description box below if you'd like to read more about that. But truth for you today, you are correct that, emotionally detached parents really do care about only themselves. And Gypsy Rose's mother, she's a prime example. Thank you for that. Okay, so my next one is Beth Sim. Thank you so much, Beth. I love your comments. Thank you for your support on this channel. Here's a comment that you gave. You said, this is actually a question. You said, does the vulnerable narcissist know they are hurting people and refuse to admit it? Or do they think they aren't hurting anyone? That's a great question, and I've gotten this question a lot on the channel, and I've tried to answer it in a variety of ways. I'm not sure I directly answered it, so I'm going to do it right now. So a vulnerable narcissist, I think for the most part, there's two kinds of narcissists. There's the covert and there's the vulnerable. So there's two kinds of narcissists, right? There's the overt and there's the vulnerable or covert narcissist. The overt narcissist, in my opinion, and from personal and professional experience, they do know that they're affecting you. They don't care, right? They have absolutely no empathy. So why should they care about affecting you, right? So the overt narcissist will do things like, spread rumors, they will, aggress you. They are the narcissistic drivers that I talked about in my story up here from Sunday. They will also bully you and harass you and do things that are very obvious and overt. They don't care. So those are the narcissists who I believe strongly know what they're doing. They don't care. But then if you go over here to the covert vulnerable narcissist, they're passive aggressive, right? They're under the radar. They do things sneakily, which is something that I talk about in this video up here. Those kind of individuals, I think they can kind of waver in their self-concept and in their level of self-awareness. I think sometimes they can be so passive-aggressive that they don't know that they're doing it because it's become a part of their language. But then I also believe that sometimes they know what they're doing and they do it sneakily because they know the passive-aggressive behavior often goes under the radar. It cannot be proven. So, awesome question. I'm sorry I don't have a direct answer for that, but just in my professional experience and opinion, I think that narcissists can waver between self-awareness and no awareness at all. So thank you, Beth. Great question. The next one is from Jan. Thank you so much, Jan. I love your comments as well. You basically give me a compliment and you say, thank you for not demonizing those who have BPD. And I must say that I have in the past spoken on the topic of BPD, and it could come across as being derogatory and isolating and insensitive, I think. But that particular article and video was about individuals who have BPD and individuals who have a hard time with them. I did have a couple of people say things like, well, this feels like you're pointing fingers. The reality of that video was that the video and the article was that I was trying to come from a different perspective, which is the perspective of the victim, right? The person who is receiving the behavior from the person with BPD. That video and that article was a little edgy. But yeah, ever since then, which was back in 2016, I believe it was, I've tried to be more careful with my language. So I'm going to continue to do that. Thank you so much, Jan. All right. So I love this comment. This is from, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. It's from Annalise Baker. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. And she says, hey, Tamara, thank you for this wisdom. Bring this wisdom under the footstool of Jesus Christ, and you have a very powerful weapon to break those kinds of intergenerational curses. I totally agree. Thank you so much for that. I think that spirituality is extraordinarily important. I was raised under Christianity. Thankfully, I was raised out from under religion, so I wasn't the, hardcore church-going girl who couldn't wear earrings and had to wear skirts all the time. I learned to develop a relationship with God, right? And I learned to kind of rely on Him for strength and direction in my profession and in my personal life. So I do believe that that is a powerful tool. And I do believe that wisdom can be enhanced when you walk according to God's purposes. So thank you so much for that. I like that. Let's keep moving, guys. All right. So Patricia, you say some mothers have children to add extra income and benefits to their household. They don't genuinely love the children. Thank you so much, Patricia. I agree with that. When we're talking about narcissistic mothers, narcissistic parents, narcissistic guardians, caregivers, family members, you are right. Sometimes they do things to add a title to themselves. Sometimes they do things to add a badge to themselves to get recognition, right? That's basically the whole idea behind Gypsy Rose's abusive case, right? This mother wanted accolades. We also have people who adopt because they want money. They adopt because they want to be parents. They don't adopt so they can give a child a home. They don't adopt so they can love the child. They adopt so that they can be parents, right? Selfish reasons. They adopt so they can have money. It really is a very slippery slope, I guess I could say, because you want to believe that parents are having kids and adopting kids and fostering them for good reasons. And unfortunately, they're not. The narcissists that I've talked about this past month within families, they go after foster kids and adoptive kids, right? Because they want they want those accolades. They want that recognition. They want the money. They want the prestige that comes along with being a foster parent. So unfortunately, Patricia, you're right. It's sad, but you're right. Thank you for that. The next one is, oh God, I totally love you, JT Facts. You always have something of value to add. All of you do. But I totally love your comments, JT Facts. You like hit the nail on the head. And so I'm going to actually post your comment because it's really long. But you say, I want to preface this, which was a video that I think I had done a video on something, and you wanted to preface your comment to me. And you said, I want to preface this comment by saying 99% of the videos you put out, I agree with. Thank you for the cushion and the validation, JT Facts. I really appreciate that. But I think what you were talking about in that video is something that I had failed to focus on, and I will put that over here for you so that you guys can see what else that JT Facts said. But I want to thank you guys for doing that. When I forget to mention something, or I leave some holes in a situation, or I don't cover something 100%, I love how you guys come behind me and you add your 2 cents, right? You add your perspective, your experience, your views, your knowledge, and so that's very helpful on this channel. I'm certainly not pulling this channel on my own, so it is because of you that I can, kind of make every topic that I put out there well-rounded. When you guys ask me questions or you suggest topics, I try to fit it in, and I do videos based on that. So I just wanted you to know that. Thank you so much, JT Facts. I always love your input. The next is Forever Healing 100, and you say, wow, you just described my mother. I'm not kidding. I can't understand how people don't see how delusional she is. I want to kind of piggyback on this a little bit. I think it's really difficult to see delusional behaviors. I have spoken a lot about this on this channel. I'm going to post a video up here. Delusions are false beliefs held to be true despite evidence to the contrary. And what that means is that there's a lot of evidence going against how you see something, but you continue to see it that way because that's your delusion. Now, you can have bizarre delusions, or you can have non-bizarre delusions. Non-bizarre delusions are delusions that could be true, but probably are not, right? They could be, but probably not. So a non-bizarre delusion would be something like, I robbed a bank the other day and I took about $1,000 and now the police are following me. All right, that's not non-bizarre, right? There are people who rob banks all the time and they may get away with $1,000 and the police could have a warrant out for them. So that's not bizarre. But what happens with non-bizarre delusions is that it's not true. It's a delusion, but it's believable because it could actually happen. Now, the non-bizarre delusion, All right, so the bizarre delusion is a false belief that doesn't really make any sense, right? I'm seeing cows over there, or Trump just talked to me yesterday and I have his files in my basement, okay? That's a bizarre, delusion. And that's something that is not going to happen, period, right? It's really bizarre and left field. It makes no sense whatsoever, okay? So that's a bizarre delusion. So somebody can have either or, right? They could have non-bizarre or bizarre delusions. Either way you flip the coin, delusional people can come across as genuine. They can come across as believable. So it's really hard Forever Healing 100 to really separate somebody who's delusional from somebody who's normal, or somebody normal, right? Or somebody who's sane, because sometimes people with delusions can be very, very believable. That's why when I see individuals who have delusions or hallucinations, it really takes a lot of experience, a lot of assessments and questionnaires and clinical work and sessions to really get a hold of what's going on in front of me, because somebody who's delusional can come up with a bunch of stuff and it could sound true, but it could be, something that isn't true. So yeah, thank you for that. That's a very good comment. Thank you. All right, the next one is Ella K. And you say, this video helps restore my own sense of reality, sanity, and dignity. Thank you so much, Ella, for that. And this is Ella K. I love that comment because that is my goal on this channel. There's a lot of people who come to YouTube to get attention. There's a lot of people who come to YouTube to make money. There's a lot of people who come to YouTube to gain some kind of notoriety. And that is not my goal. My goal is to promote the concepts that are firm and balanced and practical for you guys. My goal is to provide you with free knowledge. My goal is also to create a community where you feel that you can gain knowledge that is balanced and that's practical, something that you can actually do. My goal is also to push you back into therapy or to push you into therapy and to find a therapist that's genuinely skilled and they know what they're doing. So that is my goal. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much for that. All right, so the next is Duchess. I don't know how to pronounce this last word. I'm going to just post your comment over here because I have no idea how to pronounce that last word. That's so bad. I'm really bad with some of this, guys. So if I'm botching up your YouTube names, forgive me. I'm so sorry. But you make a very humbling comment, and I wanted to point this out because I'm very grateful for this. You say, thank you so much for all you do. You have helped me pick up the pieces of my broken childhood, and you've led me down the path of recovery. Thank you so much for this. I love this. This is so wonderful, and it's so humbling because I think that that's what this channel is all about. It's about reaching you, right? Reaching the viewer, reaching the audience, and doing things like what I'm doing right now, which is reaching out to you and letting you know how much I appreciate you, letting you know that I hear you, letting you know that I'm here to support you. I may be thousands and thousands of miles away, but I'm only a click away on YouTube. And it's wonderful that we get a chance to communicate in this way. So thank you so much for that. I love that comment. Thank you so much. Now, there are other comments from you guys, and I'm just going to post them at the end of the video all around so that you can kind of take a look at those. And for those of you who I wasn't able to fit into this very long video, please know that I'm grateful for you as well. I hear your comments, and I'm working on videos that will answer the questions you've asked me, that will motivate you to move forward in your future, that will really benefit you in some practical ways. So I'm working on that as we speak. In October, guys, we're going to be focusing on trauma, and someone wonderful also reminded me in a video last week that Domestic Violence Awareness Month is coming up in October. So please keep in mind that we're going to be focusing on some things regarding that as well. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me in this video today. I encourage you to give it a thumbs up. If it was helpful to you, let me know how you feel about this video in the comments section below. Tell me if these videos are helpful, because if they are, I will continue to pull your comments out and I will discuss them on the air. So we're going to just keep moving, guys, and we're going to keep talking about these things as long as you guys feel like you're benefiting, and as long as I have topics and experience in the topics that you asked me to discuss, I will continue to do it. So I will see you guys on Wednesday with a new video to start off the month of October. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.